Matt, how locked in have you kind of seen your team since selection show and now that it's, full prep week for Kansas?
Yeah, we had one practice in selection show, so I thought we did a good job yesterday. It's been a long week. We got done on Tuesday. We took 2 days off, kind of worked back into it Friday and Saturday. So yesterday was really our first normal day since we won the tournament. So and then today will be a normal practice, and we head down. So it's we've had a lot of time, but we haven't in some ways too. So we need to. It was a hard tournament for us. We had to recover a little bit. We didn't go too hard on Friday or anything. So, and the girls got to go home for Thanksgiving and stuff. So.
Y'all played Kansas early in the season. That was a different team. How has your team grown from that point?
Yeah, there's some different faces on the floor. I think Rachel's still playing libero at that point. Kaylee was outside. Emily wasn't playing at the time. There's just a lot of different faces on the floor for us. I think we had a pretty good match against A&M the night before, and I don't think we recovered from that loss the next day. And we just didn't compete in some of the ways I wanted us to compete, and to have a chance against a really good team, that's what you got to do. So, like the girls said, we're excited to go mix it up and see what happens and put our best foot forward.
Scouting Kansas, what are you going to have to do defensively, offensively to kind of jump the gun and maybe get a surprise?
Yeah, they have a couple pins, especially the outside Cooper that is more physical than anyone we've seen in the conference in a while. Not by a huge margin, but by some margin. So just prepping that offense. Every team has their own wrinkles and stuff, so that isn't really different than a normal prep week. It's interesting to try to do that amidst all the excitement too. We want to keep the routine as well. So, but I think the team has done a good job with that. Yesterday felt like a fairly normal day of practice, and look forward to that today too.
Having a younger team, how valuable will this experience be for them in the years to come?
Yeah, I think, this is when you're a freshman in high school, when was state about a month ago or about 3 weeks ago for Nebraska? Different states are different, so you're used to switching sports or switching coaches, and we started earlier than most high schools, and so it's just a longer season. So for the younger players, we're really kind of extending the time they're used to being, dialed in competitively, even though they're probably still playing volleyball through club and stuff. It's we're just getting going. We don't have a tournament for a month or two, so it's a different experience for the younger players for sure.
Starting out not very well in this season. You could say this season was a reverse sweep, just like kind of what you did at the Summit Tournament. Just encompass everything that has happened in this season, how historic and special it's been.
Yeah, we've it's a lot in that question. Pick a couple things. I think I sent the team after we won. There's in Rocky Balboa, he talks about getting up after you've been knocked down, and that's how winning gets done. And I sent that out to the team afterwards, and that reminded me of that in the match as well as for our season, to continue. When you lose that much, you have to focus on something, and we really focused on our values, and I think that's what's brought us to this point. We haven't done everything perfectly on the court, but I think we have grown together as a team, and our culture has continued to grow throughout the year, and when those things are going right, anything's possible. So that's the part of the journey right now that sticks out to me. Obviously, there's some historic things going on with Volleyball Day. We opened up Kansas State's beautiful new facility down there, in a closely fought match there, and so there's just a lot of firsts and neat things. We had great fan support this year at Baxter. Look to continue to see that grow, but just a lot of neat things going on outside of the wins and losses this year.
How happy are you for some of the older players on this roster to finally get a chance to play in the tournament, especially after coming up so close the last couple of years?
Yeah. That's the dream you have for them. I always say I'm gonna get to coach for as long as I want to. In some respect, whether they fire me here or whatever. But if I want to coach volleyball, I can coach volleyball. But the student athletes only have so long. And, you think about the players we didn't get to this point, and, so happy for Rachel coming back and getting to experience this, as well as the other returners, because you never know, what's going to happen in a season. And that's been another message even to the freshmen. What if you roll an ankle next year before the conference tournament? You don't get to experience any of this. So embrace the moment, appreciate what you have while you have it, and so just thrilled for those guys.
You've gotten shout-outs from John Cook, Kirsten Brenthal Booth, honestly all season, but especially on Sunday after, finding out where you land in the tournament. What does it mean to be a part of this community in the state for volleyball?
Yeah, I grew up here, so it's nothing new in a lot of respects. It's fun to have it happen this weekend for sure, but, Kirsten and John have both been really supportive. In terms of playing and just in terms of, and I worked Kirsten's camp. I worked both their camps at one point when I was younger, so they've always been extremely supportive of UNO volleyball and of myself personally. So, nothing but first class from them. And, obviously, what they've built is nothing short of amazing. Nebraska being really the standard bearer of certainly of women's volleyball in Division I, and maybe even women's athletics, and then in the country. And then, when Kirsten took over Creighton, they were, it was kind of a joke, really. No offense to anybody. People didn't even know they had a volleyball program, and to see where they are, I don't know how many, they've won like 40 Big East championships in a row now. So, it's definitely feels good to get recognition from those guys, though, even though wouldn't expect anything else.
What does making the NCAA tournament do for this program as it continues to grow at this Division I level?
I guess we'll find out. I don't know. I've never done it before. So obviously it was the next step, right? It was the door we were pushing against. We got through, and my goal is to see how far we can go, as a program over time. So, but this was one of the first steps on that path. So, time will tell.
On a little bit of bigger picture, softball made their first NCAA tournament as well. Now you guys do it. How does that speak to the growth of just women's athletics here in Omaha?
It's great, isn't it? Yeah, we just wanted to join the club. We're rooting for Tim to get it this year again. They just almost did it again for 2 years in a row. So, but they set the standard. We're just trying to follow in their footsteps.